All right, let's call this budget committee meeting back to order a little bit later than we had anticipated. But it took them a while to make the pizzas across the road there.
Really, you know?
It's all right, it's all right.
But I blame my timekeeping abilities on my 4-H teachers.
There you go. I've been blamed for everything, that's fine.
We're 7, yeah,
So
so
that'll give us an extra
that'll give us some
cushion. All right, here we go, Randy. We're gonna look at 101.
more.
Oh, joy.
The first page of that is actually the last page of the budget, so y'all can see what it looks like, so you know that we've gotta cut some things. The no raises column is a 2.299555 hit to fund balance. The as requested is 7.4 million. We know we can't do that, but that is exactly what they requested from you guys.
What are they requesting?
3.5 million of it is a communication tower from, so.
Okay.
And then I gave you a list as we go through, I gave you all the list of capital projects.
The last number I heard was 10 million for that, for the,
Well, then 3.5 is a lot better.
well, that's cheaper than 10.
I think it's 23 disciples.
Is it?
I may be wrong, yeah.
See, I mean, there's a lot of this money that's in there, it's capital projects that can be pushed over.
Well, not in the no raises column.
Okay.
All the capital projects have been taken out,
Okay.
so that we can go back in and add the ones with which you.
But this original 7 million, yeah.
Yes.
The 7.4.
Has everything in
Pull
it,
the capital stuff out.
which is 5.1 million.
So right now, even if we didn't give any raises and put all the capital projects out, we can still hit fund balance at 6.213. Okay. Yeah, make sure.
And last year, what we did was the budget committee sent it back to the departments and gave them a few days to cut 5% out of their budget. Let them cut their own budgets, because they know
I know where to cut.
where they.
Well, they know where they fluffed them to a little bit here. and there.
Not the other one, that.
And then if they refuse, none of them refused last year, but if they refuse, then it's up to the budget committee to do that.
Alright.
So,
Hey.
Good first page, Randy.
well, I thought I'd just get the sticker shock over with. You'll flip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages, 6 pages back. I've got revenues at 25,331,000. In 24-25, the audited number was 26.3. So it's about $1 million less than what we actually received in 24-25.
What line number was that? Randy, that you
It's the
were looking
6th page after that initial page.
It says total revenue.
Right
This is very nice, it's small.
And it says total revenue and resources.
Alright, explain to us why.
Only got a little bit on the
Thank you.
$1 million less.
I don't want to, I conservatively,
Okay.
I don't want to budget for everything that we did receive, because we may not receive it, and I don't want to get us in trouble for overestimating revenues. So I'd rather amend the budget once we receive them and add, we can
And
do
add
that.
capital- If there's capital project stuff, we can.
We can, or we can just amend the budget to increase the revenue and increase fund balance, we can do that.
Okay.
So just to be on the conservative side, I've knocked right at $1 million off of what we received in the previous year. And we can go through these line by line if y'all want to.
Well, I mean, are you recommending that we send these?
I recommend you send the department budgets back, unless y'all wanna look and y'all wanna do some cutting yourself.
What would 5% get us?
It'll be about a $1.3 million cut.
Right
So
now,
we're
we're
still
still
be looking
we
at
still have $1 million.
Million.
And we just got the actual certified property tax rate for Brady, and it is a little higher than what we had estimated, so there's a little bit more revenue.
What's it at?
Or is it?
1.8, 1.48.
Oh,
Might give me a free heart attack.
I'm a little dyslexic sometimes, 1.4825.
Phew.
1.8.
1.8, huh?
So
I'm a
we
good
dropped
shot.
more than a
since
quarter.
then.
25% reduction in the property tax rate.
But the revenue remains the same.
yeah, this equalization year, that's the, that's the tough stuff.
The revenues have to remain the same, and that's the property tax rate that they come up with.
It has to be that or less.
Yes.
I'm familiar with it.
Down from 201.
201.
We can talk about each department's budgets, and I can tell you what they've requested, and if y'all wanna cut things out to start with, you can, or if you just wanna automatically send it back, we can do that too.
I think send it back and then see where they come back with, and then we'll go
Okay.
from there. Okay? What do y'all think? That make the most sense?
I would rather them decide where it's cut than us decide where it's cut, and I'm looking forward, without me sitting in this seat, looking forward to that, because they're the ones that decided to cut that. If we cut something, that may be something they have to have for operations. I feel like that's smart in
Well-
my mind, and saves y'all huge amendments and arguments through the budget year
I
also.
agree with that.
When you look at this, you don't know what's coming out of that line, how many bills are coming out of that
Right.
line, so I do believe it's best that the department cut it.
They're the ones that do it every day.
So do we, I mean, it's a recommendation, so we recommend 5% or 10%?
10%'s gonna be hard. Last year,
I mean,
not
you can
every,
recommend 10%. I'll give it
See
a-
what happens, I mean.
7.5.
y'all just make a recommendation on whatever you want.
I like the way your mind's going.
Can I ask the question here?
Yes, sir.
Is there any departments that have asked for extra to fluff that, making that 5% much less painful? Because I know when I used to have to prepare the budget, mine was always bare budget, bare boned. I never seen anything in with very, very little fluff in it.
There are some departments that fluff them.
Mine doesn't.
Now, there are
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know one just walked in here real bad
Speaking
about
of
that.
fluffer.
So, I mean, going a 5% across the board, you may have somebody
Can't cut 5.
that can't cut 5, and then you have some 5% is not gonna,
Well, sometimes you have things like replacing printers, replacing data, data processing
That's pulled
equipment.
out.
Oh, is it?
That's
Pulled
That's
out.
any
Okay.
capital projects.
I've got computers that I have to replace because they're still on Windows 10, but I pulled it out.
Okay.
So we're talking about increases in, like they're adding personnel, some of them want another employee.
I pulled all that out.
Holy crap.
So what's
I
in
only
here?
had one department that
What's in
wanted
here
that.
that they could cut, I guess is the question.
So what do they add, more paper, more paper
There's
clips? I
lines that
mean, it's a lot
There's, there's lines that we increase because we've seen an increase in fuel for one. We don't really
Postage.
know how long that's gonna stay. Postage is going up, so we've increased it, but we don't really know how much to increase it by.
Right.
So we could cut it back down to what it was, and then if we get to the point,
Yeah.
then come back to the budget committee.
do budget amendments throughout the year.
Pretty good,
Yeah.
these fuel prices.
We're gonna amend revenues. Right?
Yeah, I mean, that would be my recommendation, cut it back down to what they had the year before. And
Then
then
adjust through the
adjust
year as
through
we
the year
need
as
to.
we need to. Cause we have budget amendments for every session anyway.
Right.
You got one office here just asked for a 3% raise, and a lot of them's asking for 5. So some
That's
of them
why I
are
have
gonna ask
that, that's why I have that no raises column. They're gonna have to cut 5% out of that no raises column. Not
Yeah.
out of the
Yeah,
requested
so we're
column.
still at 2.3 even with no raises.
And I'll send them a copy of this and tell them, you've got to cut out of that column. They're not gonna be happy with me, but there we go.
Never happy with
I'll be
it.
honest, I'm not happy about having to cut mine either, but it is what it is.
no raises.
Some of them don't request it, they just wait and let the county do it. And honestly, it's easier if they don't.
Yeah, I don't know which.
That's what I want to do.
What numbers are you looking at?
whatever the county said.
910, 51, 910.
That is our
Whatever
house.
if I have somebody got promotion.
Of course, insurances go up every year, that's part of what,
And we don't have that back yet, so I just put what we paid last year. I know it's gonna increase increase, but I don't know how much.
Well, I mean, for like Tara's
Oh.
office, you got an increase in medical.
Our health insurance rate went up, went up 9% this year, and our TCRS rate went from 6.21% to 7.14%.
That's true, the retirement.
But you've also gotta remember that penny that we took out of here and moved it to highway. And then there's $250,000 that we took out of here and moved to highway capital projects. So that's part of that deficit, that we can bring that $250,000 back next year. We won't be able to
How
bring
much?
all of that property tax.
How much did the state raise the county officials?
2.63%. I think, the judges was a little different than that.
I love how they raise it, and I tell you, you gotta fund it, so I like,
Yeah.
if they're gonna do that, they need to be funding that.
Meanwhile,
Judge.
they talk about at the state, what great money managers they are.
Yep, sure are.
Because
make
they
you
save
pay.
money by
Yep.
cutting our throats. 2.7% was what the judge received. But all other elected officials was 2.63.
That's only the general session judge.
Correct,
Because the circuit court judges are paid directly by the state. Right?
correct.
Well, I do think we send back and request more than we're needing.
7.5.
I think you at least request 7.5. If you request 10, and they are running Rick Skellington budget, they're gonna come back and say, I can't. If you want me to perform my job, this is what I need to spend, and this is what I'm asking for. They're going to do that. Like I said, if they can't speak to you that way, then they don't know what they need, then maybe we got the wrong person over at the department.
And we've got audited numbers from the previous tax, previous fiscal year. That
And
said,
know what
this
they
is what you
spent.
actually spent on
Yep.
XXX, even though the price of some of that stuff.
What service could you not supply because of it? I think you do that, and if one did fluff the fool out of it, then maybe they'll drop 7%. And if they didn't, we'll know.
And call me in and I'll go through their budget and I'll pick out what we get rid of and what we.
Talk me into that.
Yeah.
We'll call,
Just to
we'll,
watch.
we'll just, golden scepter Ricky as the, budget czar. So we'll see.
Hey, my money managing through the nonprofit ain't as far out of line as y'all laughed at me about it, man, is it, huh?
We're always up for that meeting.
Yes, we are.
Always an exciting time.
So you need a motion, you need a motion in that?
Let's do the math and see what it, just to get it down to zero, what it would be.
So 5% cut was 1.3.
Yeah,
County buildings.
so you're talking another, we're still just shy at 7.5, right? Right?
Maybe closer to 8.75.
Yeah. Not that it's gonna happen, but it's close.
If we need a motion, I will not be scared to ask for a 10% cut, as close to that as they can. So if that needs to be in a motion,
Is
I will make
that
that motion.
all departments, including solid waste and highway?
That is all of this
Well,
101.
All of general fund?
I would make that in motion form if that's what we need.
we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
So,
Second. Mr. Caldwell, any further discussion on that? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, motion carries. 101, department heads, elected officials will be asked to cut their budgets by 10%.
well, and how did they bring it to you? I mean, this, we're asking, looking to cut 10% after capital projects.
We had this happen last year. and the ones that could not come back and talk to us about it, correct?
They would, or they would call me, I pretty much know which ones can't cut.
No, what I'm saying, you know, they brought us, raises and capital projects, we got that number. Then we've got, without that.
I'm gonna
You're gonna
send
tell them
them
what
this,
column.
and I'm gonna
Okay,
tell them they have to
okay.
cut it out of the no raises.
Or add that to their
Yeah.
motion from the no raises. And
Yeah, from the no raises
column.
column is what I was going on what she said earlier, that's where I was at.
I just-
That's what I meant by that. I should have spoken a little better than I did, sorry.
Thank you for bringing that up, Travis. Cause they would question. Alright, well, y'all wanna flip to 116 and see if you wanna have them to cut it, and then flip to 131 also? And then we can talk about 151, which is debt service, and that's all we have in here.
So 116, Alright.
That's solid waste.
increase we looking at.
He's asking for a 5% on his. And we're taking 3/4 of a penny out of here, which is part of this $323,000 deficit in the no raises column. I also took out the trucks and the laptop, out of that line, column as well.
And removing that 3/4 of a penny is what, 110,000?
Yeah, it's what, 148 now?
Yeah, it's 148. So, yeah.
So $110,000 of that, reduction is,
Send over just.
is sent to the highway department.
Yeah,
So
we
really
can-
is it two,
Well,
right, is like at 210, something like that? Because of what we did, to what we're thinking about doing to him, correct? I'm looking at that right?
But this budget includes, when we say fluff, the past 3 bills we have gotten from Northeast Mississippi, which is our hauler, has had a fuel surcharge on it because gas and diesel have been so high.
We exceeded what our
Of
contract.
$7,000 to $8,000 a month. So that includes,
Anticipating that.
anticipating that, no.
Oh.
No, a fuel surcharge for 6 months. I was hoping by 6 months it would drop.
Okay.
But it includes the increase that we will receive in January of 27. And it includes that fuel surcharge. I can pull that fuel surcharge out, which is $48,000. And then if we get to that point,
50 fund balance, yeah.
we can ask for more then.
Alright, so I said some things in the charitable, contributions, meeting. I think we have to be able to spend the money that we by law have to provide a service for. Too, I'm not sitting here in this seat saying that we need to take a $323,000 hit to fund balance, or later on a $734,000 hit. But the things we're talking about now are the things that we're required to have. And if it costs more, then we have to find the money to pay that.
This one has a solid waste fee that you can increase, and we had talked about increasing it annually based on what the contract increased. We've not increased it again since we did such a big jump, so that may be something we have to look at next year. They can handle that $323,000 hit for a year or two. But then we're gonna have to find some other way.
your fee is 102 now, is that right?
Yes.
Do you remember what the criteria was on the fuel surcharge on that agreement we made?
It was when fuel reached $4.50, I think, $4 or $4.50, I think.
It was well, man, hopefully it never hits that.
And then we bought our
26.
Do you know about how many, solid waste bills we send out a year?
About 17,000.
about 17,000.
We could be sending out 9. We just build the haulers and wader trucks. And we don't lose 20-some%.
That's where,
That was my first option.
And most of them, one hauler in particular that I can still show you, there's a large percentage of his clientele that don't even live in Lawrence County.
It wouldn't matter as long as we weigh the haulage.
Right,
Make money.
exactly. Cause,
I mean,
you go
And
around
if
Giles
they had any
County line.
sense, they'd rather control the whole purse than they can actually have administrative fees in there and let the free market handle it and get the government out of the middle of it, because we're losing our butt, because we can't turn off the valve. You know what I'm saying? It's like being in the middle of LUS supplying water to their customers and we can't turn off the valve. You know, it doesn't make sense.
We've also got a hauler that hauls a lot of ours out of county,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you know, on the north end.
and the north.
So we're making out on
They
that.
can make it to wash.
It may be. I don't know what the numbers on it, but I know Garbage Man hauls a lot to Burger King.
How do they do him up there? Do they charge him?
I have no
Comes in?
idea.
They wait.
No, they actually, I think they haul it directly to Lewisburg, to the landfill.
They weigh it and they pay
They
it every
pay it at
time.
the landfill, yeah.
And they're the ones that wouldn't give us any information. They all booked up and wouldn't give us nothing.
The one booked up, won't give us any information. And that was the one that I had dealings with, and the rest of them wasn't freely given with it. Mark's, Bird Proper was the only one that gave us any numbers on their pickup and especially with
Commercial problem with making them pay, or they can haul it somewhere else. They'll either start paying us or.
Well, it needs
Look,
to be
y'all.
solid waste.
it.
I mean, we got an employee that manages 17,000 bills. Right? I mean,
Full-time job.
full-time job.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna manage taxpayer money to the most efficient way, then these people that have a free enterprise business, leave it up to them to collect the money and they just pay us for our service that we provide to them. They can, and if they got any kind of mathematical sense at all, they can make more money doing it that way. But,
Sounds awful similar to the conversation I had with one of the haulers.
I mean, it's the free market capitalism at work out there. They can go around and try to beat each other's prices, but ours is gonna stay the same for all of them. You know what I mean? But right now, we're losing 20%
So Brandy, you feel like
plus.
the 323, 127 is what the hit to their balance is okay? You feel like
It'll
that's
be
what they
okay
need?
for this year. We'd have to look at other options next year.
So hopefully in next year, then y'all would look at either the fee schedule or or who you're billing.
Moving some of that other money back around, some of those half
Yeah.
pennies and quarter pennies.
Or if
We can't
can
take it
change
all
to
back
make
from
them
highway,
collect,
because it'll
then
increase the
you all
5-year
might.
average.
Well,
We
that's
can
gotta
take
start
part of
solid waste.
It only makes sense. I mean,
It
if I was
does
running
have
that
to
business,
start
that's what I
somewhere.
want to happen.
And we were on that track for a while, looking at that.
That was, remember, I brought forward.
I'd much rather do
option
that
A.
than continue to increase the fee.
Yeah, I'd rather force the hand on
Another,
all.
yeah,
Make
and
that
otherwise
start
you're
taking
gonna
care
have
of
to just
But you're
continue
still
to
gonna have
increase.
What are we losing though? 25% is what we're losing. And what is that? $250,000?
Your
Which puts
deficit.
that hit a whole lot.
Our deficit.
Yeah, about what we're losing, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And if they come, I know Gary, you know, it sounds like it's gonna be more work, but if they come across some scales, they pay exactly what's in their truck.
We just have to get the trucks going across the scales, ones that are doing business with our transfer station, and not the city one that they already have a brand new scale house. They just need to pay somebody to do it, get the crap off our scale.
That's true.
That's how I will say that at this point.
No, I'm with you. I mean, that's,
Our scale would be a whole lot easier access to them guys if we get the cities to crap off of it.
that
since they own
employee's
it.
in their budget this year, at least it's proposed.
It needs to be done and off of our scales.
So would you charge the city of Lawrenceburg too?
That's the only
Yeah,
way you can do it.
anybody hauling, whether Loretto, but they're still, they would handle, City of Lawrenceburg, and again, this is where this idea came from. Remember, we talked to them about LUS, about putting it on the bill,
Mhm.
having the city fee and then the county fee on the bill, but they wanted anywhere from $150,000 to $250,000 a year to manage that. You know, the city, they're not gonna lose any money. They're just gonna, they collect it 99% because it's on the power bill. So,
They're collecting it, but then they're not paying it.
they don't pay us anything. They just bring it in there. So we figured it. So for every 10 bins that they're picking up,
Yeah.
3 of those bins we're not getting paid for. They're getting paid for all 10.
Right.
We're only getting paid for 3 or 7. when we, so, look, you couldn't run, if this was your family business, you couldn't run it that way. You can't
Absolutely
lose
not.
30%.
They're charging that for a pickup fee, not a disposal fee.
They're charging 14, whatever it is, I pay it, I'm a Lawrenceburg guy, $14.65 to pick up my garbage, and then the county's charging $9 or whatever it is a month's what mine comes out to be to ship it 100 miles. So the city's charging me 14 something to pick it up and take it to the station. Then the county's charging me $9 to take it 100 miles every month.
Then I just get it out of your county or out of your, not just out of your county, but also out of your state.
Yeah, so again, I know the city doesn't want that extra headache, and I know the haulers don't want that extra headache, but I mean, how long do we keep back funding that hole of $250,000 a year with property taxpayers' dollars? The people in this room that own property is 35% of the county citizens. Why does 35% have to cover the cost for the people that are renting and everything else who are not paying their solid waste fee? You can say, well, the renter is gonna pass that along in his rent fees,
So they don't know that you ain't paying your.
but he don't know if they're paying it or not, so. Anyway, that's a discussion, I guess, maybe for another time, but
Seems like we constantly go in that circle.
that's our deficit though. That's our deficit is what we're losing. This thing would pretty much pay for itself if we could collect that fee, 100%.
So what are you gonna do about the people that don't use haulers?
Well, there would have to be some type,
Yes,
they would
they
have to
would
pay
pay
the fee.
When they go to.
Yeah.
When they go up there to dump it, they pay.
They would have to pay the 102 a year or whatever.
So you're gonna start collecting a massive amount of money up there.
Well, or they get a sticker or some kind of barcode scanner or something they utilize.
So you're not gonna cut that fee out?
You would cut it out for the people that pay someone to handle their garbage, which is the majority of what's going on.
So then, let's say the people decide that they're getting $200 a year for hauling because they're getting charged $200 for hauling. They can say, I'm not gonna use the haulers anymore, and I'll pay the 102.
They could choose that if they.
Then you're gonna
they
put
want
the
to.
people out of business.
They could
You wouldn't put
decide
them
that
out of business.
anyway.
They control that rate themselves. You don't put them out of business. They're in the market of doing the business.
They're gonna be charged for what they're weighed across, so.
They're not out of business right now.
There were what, 4 or 5 of them?
Somebody told me a long time ago, you never win with garbage.
I don't know that we're gonna figure out in here, but I think these discussions need to be had in solid waste.
Yeah.
Agree 100% with that.
Right now, I think what Brandy's got set up for this solid waste fund is enough to get us where we need to go for this year. And when 1 year hit, it's not gonna hurt
I
us to
can drop that also, that
48 grand.
48 grand, I'd drop it back down to 3 months, because I just checked the bill we got today, and there's a fuel surcharge on it too. I don't foresee that going down before July, so I'd at least leave 3 months in there just in case.
So they leave it in there, have to change it around in the future, because we know it's gonna happen.
All right. So once
Cut
you,
that to 3.
yeah.
So we're gonna send this back for adjustment as well, or
That's up
has
to
it been
y'all.
adjusted as far as it can adjust?
There's probably some money in there.
He's done just 10%.
I don't know, but you can say 10%, and we'll do what we can do.
Yeah, I think it's fair to.
I think it's fair across the board to ask them all to do the same
I
thing.
make the same motion that was made earlier then.
Okay, Scott makes a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so then,
Who was making it?
Travis.
I made the motion.
No, Barry.
Barry said-
I said, oh, I didn't say nothing. That's from the no raises column as well.
Yes.
Right. Same motion.
If you're gonna do it, that's what the state says is the right number.
131.
Don't do 27, because it might be too much of a risk.
That is not bad.
1.4825.
And I can tell you right now, they do not have 10% cut.
What number we?
Highway is.
Highway 131.
No,
They don't have 10%. They can, but they're gonna be cutting from their
so,
materials.
see, I think they already have cut back. What they were talking about was not the numbers that I had conversation with. He's already cut a crap ton, I'm expecting. And I think you must have had a lot of hand in helping him cut that.
Well, he's cut a lot and we've
Pennies over there.
we put a lot of pennies over there and we've increased some of these revenues that, Tasha had a little under projected, but we increased them. We're still okay. I feel like we're still really conservative on them. In the no raises column, I took out their $1 an hour raise and I also cut out the 2 new positions that they had asked for. Not because I didn't think they needed them, just because this is what it's gonna take to run them.
And that was the summer
As
help
is.
positions, correct?
No.
That was,
I
okay,
left the
that was
summer
their
help
other,
in
okay.
there, it was 2 other full-time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, my only recommendation for theirs would be to pull the $1 an hour, and if the county gets a countywide raise, they get what we get. And we make sure that they can sustain it.
And he said he's gonna do that, no matter what.
Yeah.
If we pull it, he's gonna give it to him, he'll just
They
reduce
can have another line.
he'll reduce his asphalt lines or the oil lines. or
He
whatever.
can't do that without a budget amendment that passes.
There's already,
There has to be a budget
there's
amendment.
already a little bit of issue there.
I think we've done.
Because there's other, when you go straight across in the county, there's, another department that's, the same position gets paid more.
Well, there ain't nothing fair about a percentage raise anyway.
Never had
The
that.
fairest thing is to do a straight fee, a straight amount, cause everybody makes different. And your 2%'s gonna be way more than my 2%, you know what I'm saying? I never thought a percentage raise
The
was
more
fair.
you make, the
The
higher.
more you
It's
make,
just,
the
it's
more
just
you're gonna
easier.
get.
It's just easier to math than that.
If you're gonna do a fair raise, it needs to be 50
It is,
cents
but I
or
have in a
$1 or
spreadsheet that it would be difficult to figure $1 or 50 cents.
Why
I
don't you
built that
why don't
this
you
year.
build a couple of lines of that in there, and give us an idea.
Okay, well then just nix the countywide raise page I gave you, and I'll give you another.
She said, there went 3 hours.
No, that was about 10 minutes, because that spreadsheet was built last year. What do you wanna do, 25, 50, and?
Where is it?
It's, they did.
Oh, okay.
That's all senior mill sites. That's really good information, Scott. Thanks for bringing that mill campus
Oh,
in here. That's really good. I have no idea where it's at.
Yeah, I just don't think there should be,
Guess it don't matter.
highway's done everything they can do, just, I think they've done everything they can do.
I mean, they truly have, I'm not, like I said, I wasn't trying to say they didn't deserve those raises, that's just bare bones if we didn't do raises at all for anybody.
I'll be honest with you on them, if you go out there, I've said it before, but I know them guys ain't making what they could, that any of them guys over there, if they didn't love where they were at, they could go anywhere else and start driving a dump truck or a loader or anything and all get a big pay raise.
What are they paying a dump truck driver?
About $55 an hour.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, it is too.
Well, a dump truck driver?
No,
they ain't
right now, where they
hiring?
I was thinking the same.
You're
No, not the highway department.
Oh,
I'm just saying that.
That's what I'm saying.
No, not the highway department, no.
Yeah.
Calvin Bacon. If any of them's paying that, I'm serious, they wanna get this thing.
We're all going to the highway department tomorrow. Woo!
I'm thinking maybe $19-20.
No, there are highway, there are dump truck drivers making $50 an hour.
No, what do they pay a couple dollars.
No, not
less
at the
than
highway
solid
department,
waste.
no.
That's what
They pay less than solid
saying.
waste
I thought
does.
that's what you meant.
You can
Outside
have
the county.
you can have people leave and go to solid waste
Make a couple
and
dollars
make more money and
22 is the high, 2205 or 2215, I think is the highest paid one, and I don't know what
But-
position it holds out.
And that's a commercial driver's license, they got commercial license, so
All
they
the
could go
people
get
at
a,
highway department.
right, they go somewhere else and go to
Yeah,
drive.
they
a
go
truck,
outside the county and make
They'll be
$50
making
an hour.
30,
I'll tell you, sometimes else pay them a whole lot more.
Well, there's something they need. There's some perks. So we do have to look at that with a broader lens than just their dollar. There's some perks to working for our highway department. There is. I'm not saying that they do not deserve money for what their time spent at all, but there's some perks. I know a number of guys that work over there, graduated school with a couple of them. You know, getting off on Friday's great. I mean, some things like that.
You can work your farm on Friday, Saturday.
But we have to keep good employees for the county. We have to. Now, how do you do that? Do you do across the board raises? Y'all all know how I feel about that. Then your good guy gets the same pay raise that the one that should have got fired last week gets, and that makes the good guy say, you know what, screw it. I'm not coming in. You got that. So you have to do something. So across the board, any kind of raise makes me mad because I've been in business enough to know that crap don't work. I'd a whole lot rather see y'all go to a merit-based schedule, some sort. And if you can't trust I did not mean to say budget director. If you cannot, did not mean that. If you can't trust your director, then you need another director.
Well, why couldn't we figure out if we said, hey, at the end of this whole thing, we said we're gonna do $1 an hour for each department, just figure that out and give it to the director to make the decision on.
That is exactly how you would do that.
That's how you do it.
That's what there's gotta be something there.
It's a whole other can of
Because it was
worms.
real easy for directors to say, hey, I'm just gonna spread it out.
It is, but you have
I'm
to
gonna
have
tell
a
you,
policy
90% of them
change.
would
Yeah.
do that.
They
Just
would,
give it equally across.
Because
because they've never worked for anywhere in the private sector that's held their feet to the damn fire. It's why. So the thing is yes, you can't just do that this year, because that's what you'll have. 90% of them will just say, well, I'm just gonna spread it even. So going forward, you have a little policy change that says you have to give a merit-based raise, and you have to give me reasons why. Then they have to do a review. Hey, welcome to actual what you have to do to run a business.
Y'all
Yeah,
do
Tyler, calm me
evaluations?
down.
Tyler,
Does the county do evaluations on employees now, or is that?
there's no set system in place across the board. Each department has different things that they do. It's not a standardized system because you got so many elected officials too.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Just thinking that may be a way for your merit-based results to be documented.
If they had, if there was a thing where you set somebody down and say whether they're failing or not, it'd be correct.
Well, ultimately, if your department head doesn't do right with the raises, your department head's failing, and they're the ones that's gonna do good or bad because of how they distribute the money, so hopefully they invest it wisely.
I would say department heads would be fine with that, but elected officials, they're not gonna follow nothing because they just do what they wanna do, because they're elected.
This is the time that you change that. So this is the time that we can say there's no raises going to this office because they don't do anything. You're asking for $1 million, I'll give you 500,000. You will fail and they will vote you out because you did not supply the service. I think that's how the system's supposed to work, is it not?
Surely, yes, I agree with you.
Somewhat, but then you're penalizing the employees of that department that don't have.
And they'll
control
hold their
over what
feet
the
to
guy
the
does.
fire. And they'll hold their feet to the fire. That's, so we're back talking to Rick, so thing that's same near and dear to me as it is to him. We're spending taxpayer dollars, it's not my dollar that we're spending. If I want to be an idiot with it, then I can be, but if it's taxpayer dollars, then somebody better be holding us accountable for doing the right thing. I believe some kind of accountabilities to our employees and our elected officials and our directors, even our commissioners, has to be done. And I'll shut up, but y'all know what I felt about that before I open my mouth. But I do think coming across with a dollar amount per office, per department, and saying y'all can decide how to give raises, however you like. I think you'll have some that do it straight across the board. You probably will have some that will really deep dive and see who's underpaid, and be able to have a conversation. I think of a couple of departments right on top of my head that's gonna have a conversation about, hey, you're not performing where I would like you to perform. I'm giving you 50 cents. Yes, so-and-so got $1.50. And that has worked for me in the past with people under me. And I know that we have a number of elected officials that are not gonna run it the way it's always been ran. Would y'all entertain her doing that to where we know what that dollar amount is?
Yeah, that's what I just told her. She's gonna figure it out that way, and then we can make that decision on. Just gives more autonomy to the department head and make the decisions, and
At the end of the day, it gives you more power to run a whole lot better place.
you can demand more and expect more.
I think we're kind of seeing what our voting public wants us to do now, man. They're wanting to see more accountability.
Totally agree with that.
All right, where are we at?
Alright, Fund 151. This is the debt service fund. I meant to put a debt service schedule in here for y'all and I did not. I'll bring it next. This is just what it's gonna take. Took a half a penny from here and put it in the highway fund. Also included the first payment on the 2025 interfund loan that we did to the highway department. They're gonna pay their first payment back this year. And that was included in their 131 budget. That's something to take into consideration too. That's $133,000 in that hit that won't be there 3 years from now.
We gave them a half penny to help make that. We gave them.
Well,
money.
we gave them
Gave them
2.75. However you want
to pay that.
to roll that dice. We're actually gonna add to fund balance by $9,000 whole dollars in the debt service fund.
There we go.
So,
So we're coming out of that little down curve, right, that we originally saw.
and it's because that interest off of the bond money is going in there to help offset that payment.
Yeah.
I would say you could probably vote on this one unless you decide you wanna take another penny from them. I wouldn't take a whole penny, but you could take maybe a half a penny. But I wouldn't. I would leave this one as is. Would be my
I would recommend
recommendation.
we leave it that way for now, next.
I honestly wouldn't vote on this one unless you can change your vote next time.
You can always change
You know, we
it.
can always come back and look at it again.
Yeah. How you doing, Jerry?
That's the great thing about a budget. It has to be a living document. Whenever crap hits the fan and they continue to charge a surcharge in solid waste, then we can do it. It's also a plus to having a little bit of fund balance left at the end of the year.
I'll make a motion we approve it.
All right, we got a motion by Scott Franks, we have a second.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
I assume y'all want that raise calculation for the highway department too, or we just leaving their dollar there?
I just said calculate it all.
What'd you say, Scott?
Yeah, calculated all.
Calculate it all, I agree. Yeah. That's what I'd like to see.
That's really all I have, unless y'all wanna go over this capital project list and what they're asking for.
What do we got? 2 hours till school comes?
And I guess we need to look at the capital projects list if we're gonna be here. Is that where you're thinking?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm here, I'm not at work now, I might as well, might as well do it. I can't do much in 30 minutes.
We can go ahead and go, and I can go break the bad news to all my department.
Let's go over.
Do we need to,
Capital project.
let's go with capital projects. Do we need to be looking a little bit at, the nonprofit and,
Oh, yes, we do need to look at that.
charitable contributions and,
That's something we gotta look at and talk about.
We'll look at that before we do the capital project.
Sorry.
You're gonna look at, charitable contributions?
I know it probably be a lot better meeting if we did that.
I'll let you have.
All right, the, charitable contribution, nonprofit committee met and passed this all along to us from this morning. And, let me get my notes on that. All right, there were reductions made in the requests, of course, to, Randy, did we get some final numbers, what it was and what it dropped down to? Let's
We did.
exclude industrial development for now.
Fire and rescue, their original request was 1.489553, and the nonprofit committee cut it to 1.25.
Let's stop right there. So we are funding the excess of 412.5, right? $412,500, or
Yeah, the 412.5.
$412,500 is what we put in the budget on the front end. All right, that's actually what we're putting in the budget.
That's what we've paid them this year so far.
So the rest of this money is coming out of what we have saved in our budgeting process, and then what we've also realized in investment income and various things like that, which our original fund balance projection was 13.1, but it came in around 14, right?
The original was 11.
11.
I was way off, and it came in at 14.2.
Okay, so we saw a $3.2 million increase to fund balance.
I'm estimating an increase in fund balance of 215,000 in the current year, but it will probably be more than that.
Because we under project revenue.
You could do part of this in the current year, we'll write the check on July 1 and accrue it back to June 30, or you could just eat it all on the front end and do it all at one time.
Listen,
It washes, just like Scott said the other day. If you don't
It doesn't-
spend it, it rolls into fund balance, so therefore you're hitting fund balance to pull it out.
I recommend we fully fund what county fire is asking, simply because this is about saving lives and it's working. And they're doing a great job managing this thing, the way they're managing it. And I have utmost confidence in the entire team, especially with all these different chiefs sitting on board together. Philip, you've been in some of the meetings, I've been in some of the meetings. I mean, they're having to deal with issues among some of the departments, and they deal with
They're
it
doing it amazing.
because they're holding them accountable and they don't get their money until they get their ducks in a row. And I love the way they're doing it.
Listen, even if they have a problem at the top of the department, they vote to fix it. So their peers vote to
Even
take them
yeah,
down.
yeah,
I
right.
mean,
So the chiefs are held
system's
accountable
working
too.
great.
Right.
It's probably working better than.
So my recommendation is that we fully fund them based upon what we've realized in savings. That's what I'm saying. And I know, again, I think ultimately in the future, get them on the front end of the budget would be better than being on the back end with savings realized for security's sake. But right now, I think it's time to do what we can do this year because we have realized more than we projected.
But that includes the extra 40,000 on top of what you requested.
What's that?
That 1.489
That's what.
includes 40,000 more than what Tyler actually requested for the salary that we discussed. And that number is in the budget document, so it is included in those deficits. So we make it look a little better that's why we've been paying part of it out of 1 year, and it's to make it look better at the bottom line, but at the end of the day, it's the same money.
The only hitch that I've ever had in that is if we had a year to where it didn't.
It's trending down, but not like awfully bad, but I mean, it's not gonna stay that way forever. I see what you're saying.
And then it's, well, we didn't do that last year, we can't do it this year, we don't have an overage, sorry fellas. And then it's back to, they can't do the training that we have such an amazing training center for and all, because they're all selling catfish. That's my feeling, but.
But you're saying if you go ahead and fund it all right now, that'll actually help the negative side of next year's budget. Is that
No,
what
if you
you're saying?
fund part of it right now, you can't fund it all right now, cause then it's gonna look like you cut them completely out of the budget next year. If you funded part of it,
I mean, when you said that, I thought you said it would reflect on.
Well, if you
something.
look at your first page in 101, it's showing in the estimated column a positive hit of 215,448. You cut part of that,
Oh, okay.
and it would go negative, but it wouldn't be negative 3 million. They'd still get the money that they need, but on paper it would look better.
Again,
But again, it's the same money.
I followed you now, I didn't know what you was talking about.
that's the part of the dance we have to do.
Borrow from here.
So that's my recommendation. I'd entertain a motion to fully fund county fire's budget request.
So moved.
Let me, go ahead, sorry.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Scott. Do we have any further discussion? Travis?
Yeah, you may have to break this down more and stuff, or you probably have already, but I'm the new guy. Alright, so we got fiscal year 25-26 on there, 412,500, right? And we're requesting 1.489 now, so how, did we fund them the 1.489 last year in a separate way?
Tyler, go ahead.
If you want that number, I've got it in. my
What we did last year, where it says the 1,075,000, we originally funded them with the 412.
That's right.
And then we
okay.
amended the budget out of excess,
I didn't look far enough back.
and we didn't have to hit fund balance, and we were planning on doing the same thing this year. We've already paid them the 412.
So it's about, it's roughly the same.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
it's whether you're paying them with the cash you have now, or you're paying them out
Gotcha,
of your
gotcha.
savings account.
Right.
The same thing happened the year before too.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, do we have any further discussion?
And your motion was to fund them fully, and how? Did we decide how?
You didn't decide how.
That's, I knew that he didn't say how.
Yeah,
that's-
so, all right. My recommendation is we matched what we didn't fund, above the 412,500, we take that out of our current, fund
Take it out of the current year.
Yeah.
So we're taking that of 2025, 2026, and not putting it as a budget line.
Right.
As long as they're funded, I'm happy. I just
So
do not
we're
want us to run into a hitch in the road that we're, because that's back to talking about knocking rates down and all that.
Well, that's how we've done it the last 3 years.
Yes, sir.
This will be the third year.
Yes, sir.
Is that right,
Yes.
Tyler?
And just to let y'all know that the Fire Chiefs Association and the Fire Marshal's Office sent a survey out last month, or the end of last month, which is just a week ago, talking about grant funds. You know, we've been knocking it out of the park with grant funds, helping subsidize a lot of our stuff, but they sent a survey out about the needed areas for grant funding. Like they may change the program because people can only get so many washing machines. You know, there's certain pieces of equipment. So my understanding is that they're looking at doing something similar to, your grant is EMPG, similar to what the EMA does on that. So, I mean, there's nothing in stone about that. I'm just telling you, they sent an email out
It could be
asking the
that.
fire chiefs about it. They're looking because it's an issue everywhere as far as having to put into volunteer fire, because volunteer fire is not always gonna be able to be volunteer, so they're trying to work toward that.
All right, is that understood? All right, any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? So moved. All right. Animal control didn't change with FOCA here. There were some changes made down the line though. What did that final number come out to be on, senior citizens assistance?
I think it was
It ended up being 70.
I got 70.
There's 57,000 in the budget that you have right now, so.
Let me ask you a question about this, if you don't mind. Good. Did anybody hear, and we probably should have expounded upon this more when the lady was here, the second one, the St. Joseph. Was she not the one who said we didn't get it last year?
She was, but I did verify she did get it. Her treasurer cashed the check, not her herself.
Okay, so did anybody
She was
else hear her
mistaken.
say that's the reason we asked for more this year?
Asked for double.
Asked for double?
They asked for 8,000 this year.
Or they asked for 8,000 because she was assuming they hadn't got the one last
Right.
year, so. Are we giving her more than she actually wants?
I think that it was increased to 10,000.
She
It was
asked for
increased to
8,000 and they increased it to 10 so that all of them got the same.
I understand that, but it sounded to me like she really only needed 5. Did it not? I mean, anybody else pick up on that?
Well, and what's the consideration for how many people they serve as well? I mean, there's
That was gonna be the
I
next
didn't-
question, like,
Didn't see that from St. George sometime. I got 138 at Loretta and 330 at Lawrence.
at Lawrence County, so, you know, I mean, I don't know, I understand it, you know, it makes it easy just giving everybody the same, but listen, if one of them's doing 3 times the amount of people, it really doesn't make, well, I mean, obviously, yeah, that Warrensburg one does get more, but.
Well, it's the same issue with county fire. Some departments run X amount of calls, some run 5X, right? And that's an issue.
I mean, I understand, you know,
As well.
if she really only needs 5 and she asked for 8 because she was assuming she didn't get last year, I understand it's a $3,000 difference, but hey, every freaking dollar matters, you know what I mean? Are we giving her more than she even needs?
She did receive the money last year.
Yeah, I know.
She was just mistaken. Mr. Skillington?
Also, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't the county provide custodial service for
Over
the
here,
senior citizens building here?
I believe that's right.
I think so.
Yeah, for this one here.
I think they, you know, so we are giving
Extra money to them.
extra money to this one, and
Yeah.
I'm still not convinced that the Lawrence County senior citizens don't have a hell of a lot more money, excuse my French, a heck of a lot more money than what they say they are, because they've got some endowment. They've had some of the people that came up there leave them a large amount of money.
Did you ask them today?
Yes.
She
She
said,
claimed $10,000.
you were squirming when, yeah.
They don't count that endowment because supposedly it's for building a new building. We talked about it in the nonprofit committee last year. Is that not what they said last year, Rick? They don't include
I
that?
can't remember. I know that they do not include that as money that they have, but it is money that
What do they do with
have.
the interest off of it?
They put it back in that,
It goes back into
Back
the
in
it
the-
goes back into
Just rolls back
that
in.
thing, yes.
I think they asked Ryan that, she's their attorney too.
Can he
He's
tell
on
us?
He's on their board.
He is, yes, he is their attorney.
It was
Maybe
probably,
his
I
client.
don't remember.
As a matter of fact,
I wanna say it was like
It's
$250,000,
I
200,000.
was just thinking more than that, but that's why I wasn't gonna quote it,
Yeah.
because I didn't wanna throw it out there.
That's what
But
several
it's
years ago.
quite a bit of money.
alright, I asked him, I text him during the meeting and asked him, does the Lawrence County senior citizen have any
No,
CDs?
no.
He says there could be a short-term investment in a CD, but most of the funds are held in a brokerage account at First Farmers.
Did you ask him how much it was?
I did not.
I'm asking him.
No, I was wrong, man. I was looking at that $30,000 for the night ride, the one in Lawrenceburg.
Yep.
Is asking for 10, so it's equal across the board. I don't know that it needs to be equal across, I mean. Go ahead.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, my apologies, but help me understand something. You're giving 10,000 to every one of these different centers.
That's
Correct.
what the nonprofit committee recommended, yeah.
And you guys got how many meals that each one serves per location?
It's actually really neat having this. So you got
A lot different numbers.
Lawrenceburg site home deliveries, 13,600, and congregate there was 4,000, so you're looking at 17,000, 18,000 in Summertown done right at 10, and Loretta done 6,300.
So I guess all I'm saying is that I would think that just common sense is that it should be based on meals served compared to the
It's
different.
not just.
One thing I'll say about the meals, the money for the meals is actually not funded.
That's your
by
South
the
Central Human
seniors.
Resources Agency.
South Central Human Resources Agency provides the food. They just serve it.
Okay.
But now they do have some expense because those meals from South Central Human Resources only comes with, I think, meals, drink. So like if they want coffee or tea or anything like that, then the local site has to provide that. And, cups and
Is this the?
all that kind of stuff.
They do a
Resources
lot
also
of
pay
other
for
things other than
transportation.
meals too.
But even the membership though.
Membership, that's a very good gauge of members, I think.
Absolutely.
It's a very good gauge of
If
how
I've got-
many
if I-
services.
How much
they're
participation? do you have?
Absolutely. If I got 300 members versus 100, you know, that,
That tells you, I mean, that tells you, because Lawrenceburg's is 3 times what Loretta's is.
So
So
you
that's,
just common sense thinking that if you're dealing with 400 compared to 100.
Yeah.
The bulk of the money should go towards the 400, not the 100.
that's what, yeah.
Just,
So let's break it down one at a time, if you don't mind. Can we go back to the St., and then I kind of
Well,
against
you,
St.
the
Joe,
budget
obviously.
committee needs to recommend whatever proposal, whether it's match, it does need to do a recommendation.
All right, let's do the recommendation for Folka. They're requesting 35,000.
Oh, did I skip that?
And,
Nonprofit do 35.
nonprofit recommended 35. I would entertain a motion to follow what nonprofit recommended on that.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? So moved.
I apologize for skipping that, my bad.
No,
No, you're
fine.
good.
No, I jumped over, I think.
and not always do I agree with,
I got it.
with our commissioner from District 1, but really, if you do some math, and I said that kind of jokingly, grinning at him earlier, but if you really do the math on that, fellas, that saves us as a county a lot more than $35,000. All you gotta do is raise animals for a little while, and that gets out, so,
Look at the animal shelter budget.
yep, yeah, that's where I was headed, and that's, I think, if we're the only, our citizens will take care of their animals and not drop them on somebody else would be nice, but till we figure out a way to find them. You give Sarge Jared Curtis, some authority to start writing some big tickets, maybe we
I
could.
do believe that is slowing down, though. I don't think it's as bad as it was.
Hope not.
They're getting more animals shipped out of this place than ever before, like as far as taken to other shelters around the country, so.
So maybe that can drop in the future.
Yeah.
It's something, we've gotta do something.
As long as inflation
Bleed.
holds.
We're gonna bleed to death on the backside of that if we don't do something like that.
All right, let's go back to the senior centers. So I guess the numbers to come up with to look at are membership numbers for one, right? So Loretta, you said was 138. St. Joe was what?
Loretta's 118, Lawrence County was 330. I did not get a St. Joe or a Summertown. I
I
think
don't
you,
know what the
Where'd
number
that come
is.
from?
and by judge, that's what they said, I just wrote them down.
Oh, okay.
So if you judge by what I think we have is a very good indicator here, then Summertown is between the two. Summertown's actually does more meals in-house and then does a lot less home delivery, but you can look at that as,
Well, and I'll tell you, the home delivery is dictated by South Central Human Resources. They only give a certain number of slots across our 13 counties. So
Just
just because you come in and sign up for home delivery doesn't mean you get it.
okay.
Just to let y'all know, Lawrence County gets the lion's share of that.
Yeah.
From South Central Human Resources. We get
And it's not based on how long you've been on the list, it's based on some calculation they do. So like, you may have been on the list 6 months, and I go in and sign up today, and I get it, and you don't. I mean, I don't know how they figure that, but, and I don't know why they gave me the numbers of Loretta and St. Joe together. I didn't know if maybe St. Joe goes to Loretta for their meals, and they don't do the meals at St. Joe, I don't know, maybe somebody else knows that, but they gave them to me as combined. So,
Yeah, I didn't even look, I just looked at that as Loretta's numbers, that is Loretta and St. Joe.
Yeah.
I didn't even, that didn't click. And that's 33,549 meals from December 24th to November 25th.
I have another question, and I think I know the answer to it. Does the county pay the utilities for the Lawrence County Senior Center?
Yes.
I'm gonna say it's a county building, I believe it is.
and they also pay the insurance.
For the property, yes, and there's gonna be an exclusion for general liability. They're gonna have to provide their own general liability this year.
Because of the cats.
Because they're not a county department in,
Okay. All right, I just,
the
But
county's
they have
not
their own
mentioned,
board
but
that
and,
makes the decision.
you know, these other county,
They pay their own
they're paying
utilities.
their own utilities and,
God
And they're-
Storehouse doesn't. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, senior citizen.
We're just
the
talking
senior
about
centers, they're paying their own utilities and own,
Those summer towns, $750 a year just for liability. In case somebody trips going in and out of the building or whatever, you know.
so I mean, you gotta look at it as apples and oranges rather than all of them being apples.
Well, whatever you all wanna do, and we could just lean on the nonprofit committee's recommendation. But you said you only put 52.
I put 57 in there, which is what we spent last year, and
57.
that's 13,000 more. I'm gonna make an unpopular statement if allowed.
Okay.
We're asking our own departments to cut their own budgets. Why are we not asking our nonprofits to do the same?
That's an interesting question.
Sorry, Tyler.
Oh, no.
Don't shoot me.
No, I didn't shoot Ricky this morning, I'm calm.
He is.
I do have a question on theirs, talking about their insurance. If they were all work together as one in some accord, could they not save a lot of money and efficiency on their insurance and stuff like that may?
Possibly. They're not considered government, so they wouldn't fall in that government pool.
They're each under separate 501c3s.
Which is how we were, I know we made a huge difference when we were together, one bigger number.
You get them all by 10%, that'll knock you from $70,000 to $63,000.
You know, something I didn't think about also, and we've
Basically
already,
what they're-
we've already passed FOCA, but what we did last year is we allotted them 25,000, and then when we got towards the end of the year and we had,
That was done at the beginning of the year.
No, they come back and said that they had to have that.
I thought we just voted on that extra 10 grand.
We did it in July. Yeah, we did, but we did it in July.
July
Passed the
session,
budget.
a month later, remember
We
what,
did it a
something,
month later.
we kinda knew we were gonna
Yeah.
get the budget passed and then come back and,
So she kind of threw a fit, won't know why we cut her team.
yeah.
She did, she didn't know why we cut her budget.
So look, the 10% would put us,
You're spouting
Hey,
the truth over
10%
here.
would put us at 63,000, which is what the request was, just their request was 60.
No, the request was 68. There was a typo.
Oh,
Yeah, 68.
Oh, yeah, that was in my ride.
Yeah,
That was
typo
my-
actually, or typo. My ride actually asked for 30,000.
Yeah. That's right. My ride was asking for 30 and we got 20.
It's a pretty good chunk for them.
The reason we started funding them at that level was because they were receiving a grant that paid a part-time employee to handle
Grants.
all of that, and then they lost that grant
And don't get me wrong, they're great, but.
after
that's the way
the
to go.
program was already established, and
so now why'd they lose it? It's just Blood Grants time.
they just
out.
stopped
They're startup
funding,
grants.
they just stopped funding
They're
it.
startup grants. Yeah.
Typical
Yeah.
state.
The state said, hey, y'all get this going and make the county pay for it when we start doing it.
Yeah. That's something we need to discuss.
But we're not gonna
too.
get, yeah, but the state says we're not gonna give you back half of that real estate transfer tax
No,
that they do nothing
they're such good money, man.
for.
They sure don't pay me for collecting their sales taxes, I'll tell you that.
No, they don't. You're a good tax collector though.
I sure
I
am.
mean,
They
I
know
think it's
more
fair
than
enough,
I
I mean,
know.
we're asking our departments of things we have to provide to cut 10%. I don't think it's out of the question to look at cutting 10% of things.
We're giving away.
Not saying that these things aren't great. Lord knows. Yeah.
Well, we could just reduce them by 10% and
That'd be what,
that's what,
yeah.
by 10%.
Yeah, I mean, like, I do wanna figure out the St. Joseph one, because I feel like she said I'm good with 5.
Yeah.
Do you want me to call her?
It wouldn't hurt my feelings. I don't wanna give her 10 if she can live off 5, you know, I mean.
So, well, that's.
Even if you reduced her back to 8, and then you dropped them all to 10, I mean, that would still drop it below,
$1,489,553.
If I'm not mistaken, she said she only requested 8 because she didn't think she got last year.
But she said she needs to.
What exactly?
So I mean, like 5 should be fine, because she got the 5.
Well, yeah, but on the other hand, like Lawrenceburg.
I don't really care down that if we need to.
No, listen,
And everything like that.
I understand that, but they're also servicing 3 times.
I need 3
I get that too.
Yeah,
I get that too.
I'm just a person.
So either we cut out those utilities and appropriate proportionally,
Yeah.
or would they just be part?
I'd say they're servicing, Lawrenceburg's probably servicing more like 5 or 6 times.
Oh, it's pretty
I was
huge.
talking to him, because that is what we're talking about, if we dropped that by 10%, that's a whole lot less than.
There's a whole lot of bingo goes on right there.
And that.
Whole lot of roots,
Yeah.
Got to be there.
So,
My wife might be over there and volunteer.
Sometimes bingo don't mean, you better not get close to it, because they'll run over you.
that's what they said.
On Wednesday? Is that the day everybody goes hangs
Something
out?
we go down here and do.
That the boots good?
If you want to politic, go up there on a Wednesday.
Loretta's a really good place to go politic down there. They all assemble there in the mornings, have coffee before they go to work.
that's why they gotta keep the gazebo up.
Well, yeah, sit out there on that gazebo, yeah.
I would,
Oh, are you trying to call right now?
I did, she didn't answer, so I sent her a text.
Well, she said, the reason why I'm asking for 8 this year is because we didn't get the allocation last year.
Because she thought that. But, so that tells me that if she did get it, then she should be good with less than 8.
I'm thinking that her intention was to ask for 6, because that's what she got the year before.
I mean, I don't wanna cut her stuff without her saying that, confirming that, but that's the way that I read it when, which I didn't know if I was, you know, cause that was the economic,
That was
not
how
the
she-
budget committee, I what.
that was how she portrayed it. No, that's how she portrayed it. She said that's why she asked for 8, because she didn't get the one last year.
Well,
I'm prepared to make a motion to cut them all by 10%.
we just need to know what the baseline for St. Joe's gonna be.
Yes. I'm prepared to make that motion. as soon
Based
as
on
she-
Baseline of that?
Yep.
We can go ahead and do that.
Now, what was my right approved at, cause I did not write that down.
30?
30.
It was approved at 30.
So that would drop it down to 27.
All right, so we do have a motion on the table to reduce the recommendation from the nonprofit committee for senior citizen assistance, reduce it by 10%.
I was talking about all of the nonprofit charitable organizations as a whole, they're
Across the board.
across the board, top to bottom. I really like the idea, whoever said about, hey, we're cutting these, I think 2 or 3 people said it, and I hadn't addressed it that way. We're asking the people that we're tasked with providing a service, and these are ones that we're not tasked with. There is one on here that our county does expect out of us, but I think doing that, and, different than what the nonprofit did, actually gives them about $100,000 more than proposed, from the nonprofit. So I would go with 10% across the board, top to bottom on this whole list that we have here.
I think we need to figure out baseline
Scoring.
first.
Scoring, I do
Well-
not tourism or industrial development, charitable contributions. I think them need to be a total different conversation.
Which one?
Tourism
Industrial
and
development,
industrial development.
yeah, those two are totally, we're gonna talk
What
about
about the
that.
other social, cultural, and recreational? Cause
Yes.
the shelter got cut already. Nonprofit cut them down to 10,000.
We got cut 33% from where they were last year.
Across the board.
Well,
I mean, we
do
can
we
do
need to
it
figure out
separate, I'm good
baseline,
with that.
do we need to figure out baselines first? Because there's some of them being cut, some of them been added to. So I mean, do we need to figure out baselines first and then do a 10% across the board? Cause like my ride Lawrence, they got 25 last year and they've been approved at 30 through this last committee meeting. So I mean, something like that, I mean, do we need to go through and check every baseline first and then recommend the 10%?
Well, I kind of felt like
Because
and I was in the nonprofit
yeah,
meeting, and I feel like they made pretty good decisions on every one of them.
I don't disagree.
With the way that the conversations went and all, I think anyone that was asking for more, even my ride, And she told us exactly what she's doing with that money, was trying to help fund these people that are volunteering to do it. So that's why I was going with what I was going with, but open for it.
The only thing, and hey, I don't disagree with you whatsoever, but the only thing is, some of these in that very same section there, they asked for the same thing they got last year, so we're gonna cut them 10%, which is fine. Now, like your, some of them that asked for more, or, no, they didn't even actually ask for more, oh, yeah, they did, They asked for more, so if we cut them 10%, they're still getting more, and the others getting less. So I mean, I'm fine if we wanna do it that way, I'm just saying, I don't know, we don't need to look at all the baselines and agree to those first, what the baseline should be, and then do a 10% across the board. Does that make sense?
I see what you're saying.
Or you could just cut it back to what it was last year. That number's already in the budget.
And I understand gas is higher for everybody.
So just set everyone's to what it was last year, is that what you're saying?
With the exception of fire, we couldn't do that for them.
But now if you do that, you're gonna cut West Gaines because they got $500 last year.
That's right, and we just,
And
You're gonna have to look at it at a case-by-case basis.
yes, we'll have to go through and figure out our baseline first, I think. Would be the.
All right, let's
Fair only
just-
comes around once
let's
a
just
year,
do
but
that.
that's a fair way to do it.
Let's just do that. Let's start with Loretto Senior Citizens. 10,000 is what was recommended by the nonprofit committee. Is that sufficient for baseline?
That's what it was last year.
That's what it
too.
was last year.
Good with that.
St. Joe Senior Center,
So I only wanna have a question about.
10,000 is what the nonprofit committee recommended, but
She asked for 8.
she only asked for 8, and she told us in the meeting she only asked for 8 because she didn't get the 6 last year, but she did get the 6 last year. Let's move past that one and come back to it.
Okay.
Summertown Senior Center asked for 10,000. They received 6,000 the year before.
And
10,000 was recommended by.
honestly, last year, we increased Loretta and Lawrenceburg to 10. And Summertown wasn't increased, and I honestly didn't like that because I didn't have any of the data, but then I was able to get the data later showing participation and all, so that's the reason I requested it be increased.
So we're at 10.
If everyone's good with that.
Summertown was numbers wise about the same, wasn't they about the same as Loretta?
Yeah.
More,
More than
They're more, so yeah, I mean,
probably double.
out of those two, if you're gonna give one less, it would be the smaller one in my opinion, but so I'm good with taking Summertown's to 10.
All right. What about Lawrence County Senior Center? 10,000. They've been receiving the same amount for 4 years.
Good with that.
And again, they receive insurance from us. They receive custodial services from us. If I'm not mistaken on that part,
They're not paying rent.
and they don't pay rent.
And I think we pay utilities.
We do.
It's a lot. It's a lot. All right, my ride was increased by the nonprofit committee from 25 to 30.
No,
I'd say put it back to 25.
nonprofit committee just honored their request.
Yeah,
They requested
They
30.
requested.
That was one of the typos. Many on the sheet.
Honored 30. Oh, 30 was their request.
Yeah. 25 is what they got the year before.
What do y'all think?
I'm good with going back to the year before, if everybody's.
Yeah.
Philip?
So what we're coming up with here is the baseline number or what we're actually
Baseline.
doing?
Then it's gonna get cut by 10.
And I go back to, I'm good with what they, good with what they had the year before. Yeah. I'm good with it.
So let me just caution and say, we met the request of the rest of them. But we're not gonna meet the request on the baseline for my round. We didn't go back to the year before on, St. Joe or Summertown Senior Center.
be at that point.
I think my ride is,
What's your-
every dime of that goes back out to help people get where they go.
It's going to people, it's like Tim did it for a
Yeah.
while,
What I'm
I
asking the
mean,
departments to do is cut 10% off of their request.
Yeah,
I think
Not
it
what
needs
they
to
had
be
last
cut
year.
10% off their request, and if nonprofit cut them down lower than that, then they don't have to cut theirs at all.
okay, all right, I like that. Did y'all hear
Does that
that?
sound fair?
Say that one more time?
We're asking our department heads to take 10% off what they requested from us.
Not what they got last
charitable
year.
departments.
So it should be the same.
And then if it was something that nonprofit cut,
So essentially, all we're dealing with is the 5,000 right now, am I right?
Yeah, I would recommend
Yeah.
30,
Yeah.
then that's the baseline will be
And then
30.
we, yeah.
All right,
What is that?
It just puts it the same, unless,
we gotta wait.
we don't know anything about St. Joe at all.
That's
so
true, yeah.
Could put $2,000 less. And, or forward, or.
All right, so
you still not text or call back.
Reserve Deputy Association, was approved at their requested amount. Sufficient baseline, would everybody agree?
Yeah.
Kids Place was approved at their requested amount. Sufficient baseline, I assume. The shelter was cut by $5,000. I just personally want, I think we should put it at their requested amount and then reduce it by 10 if we're gonna do that to everybody else.
Yeah, that's fair. Instead of cutting them by 5 and then asking another, to take another 10% off.
They received 0 grant funding, county funding helps them. I don't think Giles County's helping them, I know they're serving people there as well, surrounding counties, but, that'd be my recommendation.
I'm good with that.
Scott, what say you?
You know, if we're talking about setting the baseline at what they asked, and then taking 10% off, this is about to be more expensive than it was when it come out of the charitable contributions. We had a $250,000 cut on the first line, and you're about to change that to 148, 149. I'm just making sure y'all see it.
Y'all had already agreed to fund the first line fully, so you'd just be cutting 10% off of.
So we're not cutting the first line at all.
That's up to y'all.
If the nonprofit cut them.
Nonprofit cut them and then y'all moved them back up to full.
Yeah.
Y'all voted on them. Y'all did.
That was
Y'all
fire,
voted on
right?
it just
Because
now.
they cut it 1.25.
County Fire.
Yeah, county fire.
I was going back to like this one here that we're on that's cut back. If it's already cut back 5, then we shouldn't cut them 10%. It should at least just stay where it is.
I'm saying, put it back what they asked and then cut it 10, which they'll give them a little bit more, but everybody gets cut. As opposed to one getting cut 30%, 33%, which is what they're requesting.
So are you gonna
What's
take
your-
the
what's your
library
numbers?
down there and you're gonna go back up on it to 5,000?
Library where Sandcastle,
You gonna go back to 5,000 on it?
Because 10% of 159,
And then
240s.
The next one was 25,000.
No, that 25 's-
25,000 is.
yeah,
He's
20,
right, that actually is gonna end up costing.
20 of the 25, that's the,
Man's
remember, we
pretty
don't
easy
get
there
that
at
out
the
of the
bottom.
building fund, maintenance fund.
What's the
Where that
price
comes from.
difference?
What I was getting at is if nonprofit doesn't cut them, just let it
Leave 'em
ride
alone.
at where they're cut, and the ones that they didn't cut them 10%.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Well, we're gonna go back to county fire then, right? I mean, do we consider that in a different?
Well,
Yes, but it's on the same list.
Not really. It's in a completely different function code and it's completely different function.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think we should
And
fund them, that's why
You
I
have
was.
to think about the ones, these nonprofits that service the entire county as opposed to a small community.
Very true.
And even though county fire falls under charitable contributions, to me, it's a necessary service.
Yes, it
It's not a charitable.
Say that, I'm sorry,
I said, even though it falls under accounting
Oh, it's
wise.
another, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm sure
agree
Tyler
with
McDowell.
I just wanna say I appreciate y'all trying to work it out, fighting for us. We need about $3 or $4 million a year. I'm being dead serious. I've paced around cutting stuff down to what it is, but I appreciate y'all, and I'm just telling you, we're gonna do what we do no matter what. And I know y'all got tough decisions to make. I hope y'all make them on everybody but us, but at the same time, I ain't gonna be mad at y'all over any of this, and we're gonna do what we do, so. I
There's the
appreciate you.
Tyler I love.
I see county fire as
I do
separate,
Yeah.
separate deal.
It's in its own silo.
I understand. I've just been very hot-headed here in the past, and I'm trying to do better, and I appreciate y'all.
You're doing
They
good.
were never
You're doing
considered
good.
a nonprofit.
Let me just give you some props, man. You've done great.
I know, I'm trying. We can do better.
Got a good
time to time.
counsel.
They only
Let's leave
started
it
being
wide.
considered in the nonprofit committee last year because audit said they had to be.
Yeah.
Every
Before
year
that.
before, it was just
By itself.
a budget allocation. So,
Yeah,
So they
last year was
already-
the first year nonprofit committee had to even address county fire.
We're gonna figure this out.
I think we leave county fire alone,
Leave it alone.
is what I say.
Hold on, minus, leave it alone.
No, we voted at the beginning of this meeting,
Yes, leave it where we voted on the first meeting, I 100% agree that yes.
1.44923.
fully funded.
Okay,
That's good.
The 10%.
That's why I
on
turned,
that.
that's why my head, I'm sure, is red at this point, because I was thinking we were about to take I was about to take $148,000 out of that budget.
We'll let everybody know too. They look on Facebook tonight.
And that, at this point, it's fine, all that crap's muted, that's no problem.
It's not live, I don't think.
I won't let it. Good, sounds great.
But we don't edit it, so it doesn't matter. Hits it hits.
Start out there.
All right. Let's move back over to the back page here.
So we're leaving what the nonprofits cut,
Just leave them, if they got cut, then they don't get hit with 10%.
So just leave it.
That's right. So God's Storehouse got cut from 25 to 5, but we said that 20 is gonna be county buildings, because if
If he needed that 20, then he'd be coming before the budget committee
get it for
Ask
building
for
and
it.
stuff.
through maintenance.
So is that 5,000 gonna be subject to the 10% cut or not?
if they dropped it, no, it is not, they dropped it.
All right, 10,000 Buffalo River Services requested, they were allocated 5, so it's not subject to the hit.
You skipped over Sandcastle, it's not gonna be subject to it either.
It's not subject to the hit either. Auxiliary unit 146. All right, just post 146.
Next one,
They got
Glory
cut.
Production.
It got cut.
The only other one is county executives fund.
You ain't gonna take 10 more
I
percent.
think when Lisa,
Sorry,
take
guys.
10% off.
I think y'all do 20 there.
Rick just did that for giggles.
We couldn't even get him to buy our meal today.
Yeah, we're trying to get you to buy lunch out of that.
It's my fault, cause I took 5,000 out of his. I wouldn't take 5,000 out of his.
Oh, Lord help. All right, Randy, you do the math on all that then.
Well,
While you're doing the math, can I ask Mr. Skillington a question?
yes, please.
Yes.
The Buffalo River Services and the Progressive Directions, can you explain to me what the difference of those two are? Are they providing the same services, or are they providing different services?
They are providing similar services. It's just that Buffalo River is centered over in Lewis County, where Progressive Directions is centered, headquarters is centered in Clarksville. Progressive Directions probably services, if not 3 times, over twice as many as Buffalo River does. Citizens here in the county.
Well, they cut Progressive Directions anyway, didn't
No, they requested
No.
10, then they were granted 10. So
they? Oh, what am I looking
Now Buffalo River always
Buffalo River
requests
was
10, and we always give them 5.
at? 5. Oh, yeah, I'm looking at the Star Center below.
Progressive Corrections needs to be requested to drop 10%, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's included in this one.
As does Limitless. They weren't adjusted.
Limitless and Progressive. Wasn't adjusted on this page. And Kids Place and the reserve deputies.
Yeah.
So you're just doing the 56,900 right now, and then going back to the previous page.
That takes you 81,400, which is less than what was budgeted. So there's a budget cut.
Hey, Mr. Burdette. All right. Moving on to the next page. City of Lawrenceburg, what was approved?
Zero.
Nothing.
And that was for fireworks? Okay. We don't have to worry about hitting that by 10%.
No, unless they're gonna give us $1,500 back.
Lawrence County Historical Society,
I wouldn't count on that.
what was it?
3,000.
3,000.
That was the same.
So it'll be subject.
It is.
Council for Community Clubs, it was already
Yeah.
cut. 3,500. Hope Botanical Gardens did not submit an application. Loretto Lift Up. They will be subject to the 10%. West Gaines School will be subject to it as well.
No, West Gaines School was cut.
Oh.
No, it wasn't. No, it
No, it
wasn't.
wasn't 15.
I'm
It'll be
sorry.
subject to the cut as well. Okay?
So the only one not subject to it is,
Is,
Community Club.
Community Clubs was already cut.
No, the city and the community club. The city won't be on there.
My fault.
All right. What's your final number, Brandy?
Still ciphering on this.
23.
Oh, yeah.
They need to go build a movie.
I was thinking 8, so.
Yeah.
He says it's just really restricted on 700,000. Senior citizens in town.
That's at 23.3, so you pretty much washed yourself with the vote when you just cut it. What'd you cut out of that? 3,600?
Mhm.
Yeah. And you added 33, so you still,
All right, let's move on to,
Still need to improve that.
the 10%.
You need
from-
to-
Oh, we gotta wait on.
you got a
10%.
motion in a second, didn't you? On
On
the 10% cut?
10%.
No, I think
Yeah.
you just got a motion.
Got a motion by Philip.
I'll second it.
But that's
Second.
on, specifically, that's on things that have not been cut.
Yes.
Other than fire and rescue.
Oh, yeah.
Fire rescue is excluded. All right, we have a motion, we have a second. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? So moved. All right, I want to get down here to industrial development, the Chamber of Commerce funding, Joint Economic Development Board. First of all, I want to say, we have arguably the best Chamber of Commerce in the state of Tennessee. The idea of not funding their request, especially when unemployment rates are so high, and we are in the top 10 worst counties in the state for unemployment, and the nonprofit committee is not even gonna fund, industrial development and the chamber's requests, I think is negligent, and certainly inconsiderate of the needs of our community. So my recommendation to this committee is that we fund their requests. Now, we'll add, I have been in contact with Ryan Durham. There are laws and there are legal issues to be considered here when it comes to tourism dollars, hotel motel tax, things of that nature in Lawrence County, and where it has to be spent, by different laws that are in place in the state of Tennessee. I know right now on the table in this county, there are people that are very concerned about the most recent industrial zoning change from the City of Lawrenceburg Zoning Board. Again, we all in county government, we're not in that conversation or decision-making process. There's a lot of facts in that situation that are still not out there, but there's a lot of speculation that is. And it's got citizens concerned, and I'll be the first one to say I'm concerned with anything that's gonna be damaging to our environment, period. Whether it's a food manufacturing plant, whether it would be Magna International, or whether it be a data center or any other kind of industrial advancement in our county. And I think that's something we have to be considered, moving forward in the future. But Magna International would not be here had we not funded this Chamber of Commerce and the jobs that they're producing and the revenue, tax revenue they're producing, the job revenue they're producing, the sales tax revenue they're producing, as well as Blickman, as well as Plasman, as well as all the other companies that are here that have come over the last several years. I know this is an embattled situation right now, but a lot of it is that the facts are not being considered. And so, the fact of the matter is, we got the best Chamber of Commerce arguably in the state of Tennessee, and it needs to be funded by county government, and I believe legally we have the onus is on us to do that, especially with hotel motel tax dollars. So, according to our county attorney, my recommendation is that we fund the Chamber's request. I'm open to any discussions on oversight, on more say or involvement in what goes on with the Chamber. And I'm open for any of those conversations. But again, this one situation and incident was something that did not fall across any of our desks because it was not in our industrial park, and it was not, they were not asking for a tax abatement deal of any kind. So it did not involve county government in the decision-making process.
Question,
There's nothing we could do in that situation. Yes, sir.
does your recommendation include the $10,000 for Main Street?
I do.
Yes.
It's included in the joint economic number. That's,
It's in this number here. You got another breakdown somewhere on that.
Yeah. What the?
241,740 went to the joint economic board, 150,000 went to the chamber, and 10,000 went to Main Street.
I'm not sold on Main Street. If that's something the committee does not want to fund and exclude from this request, I'm perfectly fine with that. I think economic development has to be funded. And I think the tourism side needs to be funded as well.
What's the dollar amount that we receive from hotel motel tax?
I've got it estimated at 300,000.
300K.
What other funds have to go back into tourism and industrial development?
Just that.
So, question, so what else can we do with that other than that? Can we, if we spend it somewhere else on tourism, is that, cause I've talked to
It's
Ryan
not to be
myself.
spent on tourism. There's a private act that says it has to be spent on economic and community development.
And tourism, correct?
On the hotel motel you're talking about?
Yes.
Is it listed in that private act?
All right, see, section 3, the proceeds received by the county from the tax shall be retained by the county, designated and used for deposit to the general fund, and such funds are to be, are dedicated by the legislative body of Lawrence County for economic and community development and shall be funded by this tax, and such funds shall be administered directly by the county legislative body of Lawrence County for such purposes.
So we don't have to fund tourism.
You can find this, you can do historic preservation, you can pick what you need.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's
Yeah,
saying
but
it's just
it's
economic
not
development, so we
all
can take the tourism part out.
I mean, we can fund a lot of different things.
I agree 100% with that.
Like what? What would be the recommendation to fund, to take the tourism dollars from the chamber and fund what?
You can give some of it to your, anything tourism related, you can give it to community clubs, you can give it to ball complexes, you can give it to a lot of things around it.
And the jail museums need a new building.
You can build that building for them down there, you can do a lot of things with it,
Where's that?
according to the information I've got.
The, TIF money that comes in is not seen by us at all, correct? And if it's like the TIF, the property tax,
Well, the part that is, it depends. The part that's already been obligated to a TIF, no, it does not come.
it goes directly through.
It goes directly through.
Do we know that dollar amount?
Did you know
It
that?
does,
I mean,
like on the Best Western, that money comes to us and we turn
Well,
it back.
right,
Yeah, but it's different, yeah.
it's not like we can reappropriate it or anything. But then you have within the TIF district, there's some extra funds in there that are not obligated currently. Is that right?
That
I think we capped it at 100,000 a year or
Yes,
something.
there's 100,000 that is going forward. There's a resolution.
Payment that was supposed to have been
says-
made
So where
all
I'm,
those years.
what I'm picking away at is I would like to know what the total operating budget for the chamber is. And then we're just sitting there talking about a request of $401,740. And our hotel motel tax is coming in at $300. We're not talking about just giving them hotel motel tax. We're talking about giving them $101,000 more dollars out of taxpayer funds. Correct?
That is correct.
Well,
The
I'd like to
$100,000
understand
comes from the taxpayers in that tax district, not all of our taxpayers. They pay more,
In the
it's on that TIF, in that TIF district. I send a spreadsheet to Kylie, and he tells me what the amount of property taxes have been paid in that TIF district. We pay them $100,000 of it back. We make more than that $100,000 in that TIF district. If, for whatever reason, it came back and those were 75,000, all they would get was the 75,000. It's just capped.
That's included in this $401,740?
No,
So where's the?
That's what I'm asking, is how
That's
much is that
separate.
other? That's how much is
it's
that?
100,000, it's capped.
So it's capped period, he gets 100,000 from it.
And if you recall, that, contract was signed to provide that years back, and it wasn't being.
I'm not throwing
provided.
rocks at it, I wanted to know
They
the
could have hit
numbers
us for
that
like
they're- that they're
600.
getting.
It can never be more than 100,000 unless y'all raise it to be more than that.
Brandon, what was the number they could have done, asked for a clawback or whatever? What
It was, I
6 or
forget, it
700?
was 6 or 7 years.
$600,000 or $700,000, and we
And they
didn't,
didn't.
they didn't do that, and they said that'd be okay if we just made sure they got that $100,000 a year.
Oh, yeah.
Was that a resolution that we had to pay it, or is that just a good buddy handshake?
No, it's a
That's
resolution.
No, it's a resolution.
That's a
It's
resolution.
contract with-
And like I said, I am not contesting that, I think I kinda understand that, of course, as a business owner, it pisses me off. But, I understand that, but all I'm looking for is total revenue stream and how much we're given. So, just as of what we just talked about now, if we said yes with their request at 401,740, then he's got 100,000 coming from a TIF, and then he's got Lawrenceburg, Loretta, St. Joseph, Etheridge contributing, correct? And then he's got,
I don't know that Etheridge ever contributed, but.
well, he's got it down, then his ass. So we could look at what they actually, the request and budget there. But that's the number that I'm looking for, but what I said, don't take that I'm throwing rocks. I would like to know what the full budget is. And then I need a good explanation as to why we're giving $101,740 more to that if we say hotel motel taxes at $300K.
I think we've asked for a full budget in years past, and it hasn't been provided, because a lot of their budget comes from membership dues from the members of the chamber, in addition to this. So I have no idea what their
Let me,
full budget is.
let us, table this conversation and push it to our next meeting, and I'll get that information, and I'll get Mr. Egley here to discuss and answer any question for anybody. Look, I understand the concern with a lot of this.
I think that Ryan does an amazing job. I am not gonna stand up and say that he does not. I think he does. The thing that I have a worry with, and going forward, do we know what Magna's gonna turn into?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, Their
He's
prospective
got another
plans,
piece of property straight across the road that could be something 10 times the size of Magna.
could be.
Do we have any idea what I mean, Ryan's great at his job, yeah, he can sell us all day very well, and that wasn't a swing. I think he has nothing but the best interest for the county at heart. The thing is until we figure out what the crap's coming down the road, good God, man, we just keep on with it wide open. I don't know what that curve is, and we're coming at it at 100 mile an hour. Do we want to be Murray County?
No, I don't wanna be Murray County, and I think we're a long shot from being Murray County, but
Because we have no plan, just like
we do
Murray County.
need jobs. We do need good paying industrial jobs in Lawrence County.
Well, let me ask you a question.
9,000 people leave this county every day to go work outside this county.
The vast majority of them are in the healthcare industry, according to the Chamber of Commerce.
But a lot of them are industrial workers
They
too.
are, but we also brought in Magna that's got 170 jobs now, and I asked this last time, and I still haven't got an answer. I don't know one person that works at Magna. So
I do, I know several, yeah.
Okay.
I know 3.
Okay, so I mean, hey, are we bringing in more people? Like, are we giving away tax dollars to bring in more people? That sounds counterproductive to me. So I'm not saying, I don't think we should shut it down, because right now the economy sucks, and hey, like I said, he's one of the best at what he does, 100%. But from what I'm hearing from people is we're giving tax dollars away, and we have no say in those tax dollars. And that's a tough pill to swallow a lot of times. Listen, hey, I'm all about giving county fire over there, but hey, if we have say in kind of what he does. A lot, most everything we give money to, we have say in what they do. So I don't think anything's off the table, but I do think there needs to be something brought forward just to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Transparency.
Accountability.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, that's what we're hired to do. Is we're just the managers of the taxpayers' dollar, but here's a section of it that we can't.
Listen, I
we
agree
have no
100%
management.
with the accountability factor, and especially with this latest deal. Hindsight's 20/20 on this deal, but there's a lot that was unknown for quite some time, and then bam, here it is, kind of deal.
See, that's a problem.
I'm gonna go out on a limb with that, because I feel like I'm at a position in my career that I can. I don't know that the data center problem that we've got going on right now is not a godsend. Because if that don't ring your bell and wake us the hell up as to what we cannot control coming into our county, I don't know what's gonna wake you up. So we have to look forward at a plan, and if we have no control over said plan, then I ain't nothing that I could do is anything to watch to have a plan to regulate our growth in the direction we want to go. And I don't
Totally
feel like
agree
we're
with that.
there. I don't feel like we have that. And I have called Ryan specifically after having conversations on air and everything else about it. It's not that I think he's doing a bad job. I think he's doing an amazing job. We just are not ready for the job that he's doing.
Well, Philip, here's the bottom line too, whether the chamber's involved or not, a company could negotiate a contract right now outside the municipal city limits of any of these cities in an unincorporated county,
Yeah.
and they could buy 500 acres and do whatever they want, and we have no say in that. You guys know when I came to office, I put that one committee in place, property development and codes. I should have left the word codes off, even though you just vote on it every 4 years, and I know you're gonna vote no, but it was to have these kind of discussions, and the reason why you start a committee is because everything's recorded in here, everything's on the record, everything's transparent. That's where you have those conversations. That committee got deleted, but those are where those conversations need to happen. And listen, these are things we've got to consider. Land use planning is something we've got to think about as a county.
Just don't need a guy advertising it until we're ready for it.
And we certainly need him
The
out
biggest
making
way you
deals.
control it,
He
and even with this data center, even though it's in the city, the way you control it right now is utilities.
Well,
I mean, if I want to come in here and build a 5,000 acre data center, somebody's got to provide utilities to it.
that's TVBA, and I don't trust TVBA. Yeah, I mean, that's
TVA
that's
can
my.
just deal directly
I mean,
with
that's,
it.
that's the only way to control it.
It's on
No,
the-
no,
I
let me
don't
ask
care
you
what
this,
anybody
though.
says, all you gotta do is go.
And I was gonna
to
ask him this,
TVA.
or whoever, the representative come in, when we had that meeting the other day, and at one point when Ryan was talking, you asked him, said, Ryan, tell me how many you turned down, or something to that effect.
Yeah, right.
And there were several. So evidently, he has the power, or some way of saying no. Is that right, or?
So at the request for information, they can respond to those requests for information or not, basically. And it's a very competitive market, so these consultants that work for these companies, they're looking for the people that are gonna answer the phone call. You've heard, if you've ever talked to the Magna consultant, one of the things he loved about Egley was he answered every call, he responded to every email, he was prompt, he was on board, he got the people around the table he needed to get Magna here, which was a big deal, because originally we would never have landed that project.
So if 1/4 time, you talk about, hey, there's nothing we can do if a private landowner sells one to 1/4 times the size, other than the electric, if TVA approves it. But essentially, if he ignores that 4 times the size one.
We're very vulnerable. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And I was in DC with Senator Haggerty's chief of staff just a few weeks ago, and that's what I asked him around at the table. I said, man, we live in a rural county, and we have a vulnerable population to these big mega industries that have
Right.
billions of dollars. They can come in here and they can do whatever they want. And in our county, we don't even have any kind of land use planning in place to be able to say anything. No board they'd have to respond to or anything. I said, so we're in a bad spot. And I asked him, what's it looking like across the state for rural counties? I said, these people are coming. He started explaining the fact that TVA is it's the only federally ran, utility company in the country. It's the only one. It's all federal money that built the dams and the nuke plants and everything else. And so, that's part of the issue, is that a lot of these companies are looking for opportunities to tie into TVA, because we know I had a 15-minute blackout, last year, that's what I had at my house. I don't know if y'all remember having one, rolling blackout, but, a lot of these big mega ones, from what I've read and seen, of course, which of these stories we're seeing on Facebook or reading is actually propaganda from overseas, or is it legit? Who knows?
There's no direct evidence.
But, that's what, Bill Haggerty's chief of staff said there is clear evidence of that. He told us
No,
about
there's
it.
no direct evidence.
Okay, well, I'll have him consult you. But
That's
anyway,
fine.
so,
Thank you.
excuse me, Mr. Eaton, just give me a second, I'll have the floor. So, so one of the things that we're having issues with is the vulnerability that we have. We have no controls. And so the TVA has got to create more generation. They've got this small modular reactor they're building on Clinch River right now. It's the first of many they hope to build, but it's a long way from being done. A lot of these mega data centers build their own gas turbine power plants. And they produce power, and they sell that excess power back to whatever utility is that they're around, similar to how solar farms work.
You take the property down here at the old dam, I mean, the company could come in there, put in their own electric generation off of that old dam, pull the water out of the creek for cooling. I mean, there's nothing we can say
I
about
mean,
it.
it's being marketed for that right
Yeah,
now.
I
I
know.
saw that online.
Water use, we might be.
Well, TDEC, if TDEC approves it, I don't think we would have a say in it.
TDEC, EPA, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of other organizations. And again, TDEC, so from what I understand from our utility company now, there are 4 plants. There are 4 plants in Lawrenceburg that have wastewater scrubbers, cleaning systems that you have to go through, chemical process to clean the wastewater before it's put back in our sewer. From what I understand, this particular project coming in does not even require that according to TDEC's regulations. So that's what I've been told. Haven't seen the paperwork on it yet, but that's what I've been told. So I don't know, guys. There's a lot.
I do think it would help, and I don't know if it's I think I seen where another county mayor somewhere was doing this. I don't know if it's possible or not, but I don't know if TDEC cares enough to or not. Ask them to come down and talk. Bring a couple experts in and talk about this stuff. I think would go a long way, but I don't know. I just picked that up last time where he does have the ability to say no or something, somehow,
Yeah.
So how many can you turn down? So there is the possibility of turning down somehow.
I think there's a way of him not pursuing.
Exactly.
I guess is
Kind of shutting off communication there,
Yeah.
So go ahead, Mr. Sealington.
Main Street. Are you gonna tie Main Street in? Listen,
Are you putting an
if
extra
y'all,
on Main
if
Street?
y'all fund or put in the budget to fund Main Street, during the budget process, I will stand up and move that we amend it to remove that funding. That classic example of using, and if this thing wasn't recorded, I'd tell you exactly how I felt. Grant money to that building that's sitting behind the old First National Bank building that is totally worthless.
The pavilion, yeah.
That was funded through that Main Street, and they were told at the time that that dog never would hunt, but they didn't believe it. They put their committee together, they got that, and it's sitting down there, and it's an eyesore.
It was actually a grant written through the Lawrence County Health Council.
But Main Street was.
Some of the Main
heavily-
Street board members are on that
were
council.
heavily involved in getting that thing.
I still think it'd be done if we would pay that.
Give our
that
quarter of a
ask
million that they
we
asked.
never said yes to.
They never-
I mean,
It's a farmer's market.
we cut out the funding for that at one time, and I don't know how it got back in it. I mean, as a matter of fact, it was cut out before I was back before I got on the commission.
Main Street was?
Main Street was.
You know what they do? Does anybody, I mean, I'm generally I'm not trying to,
Go ahead, Tyler.
I used to be on Main Street, and I was actually on Main Street whenever part of this that you're talking about came about. That was talked about for years and years and years. I wasn't there when the money was actually received. I just went to some of the training for it. I think, well, I mean, some of the planning and stuff like that, but I think what happens is Main Street was utilized as a funding mechanism to receive the funds for the project. It was kind of a requirement to be able to upgrade the areas around the square. So that's what the basis at the time when I was on it was to bring merchants and citizens to the square, refurbish it a little bit through sidewalk projects. There was always some talks over parking lots. Maybe at one time they were going to knock the pavilion down and make a parking garage there. I mean, those were the things. It wasn't the Main Street. It was just stuff that was brought by city and county together on how to revamp, revitalize the square in the downtown area. So that, my understanding, the few years I was on there, that was the goal of Main Street. So now how everything else went after that, I don't really know, but I can tell you that's all I know to tell you. I'm not on it anymore, but
that
that's.
tells me more than I knew before, so I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I'd recommend a motion to, fund economic development that's requested of us, as well as tourism development that's requested of us, and exclude Main Street contribution. That's what I'd entertain a motion for. Of course, I can't make the motion, it's up to you guys.
I
but-
thought we were gonna wait, you were gonna get some data from Ryan before we.
All right, was that what you prefer? You guys prefer that?
Yeah.
All right.
And I would suggest, just me, I would suggest trying to come up with some kind of oversight, such a terrible word. Input maybe, some way of something on paper where we have some sort of input, whether it be you
Well,
or a committee or something.
for example, the tourism, where is that money being spent?
Yeah.
What are you doing with tourism money, or whatever? Or the economic development, what are those funds being used for, type thing?
So we
just
can,
cut all these tourism things, you know, there's tourism.
well, and we can recommend that more meetings with the commission, with the Economic Development Committee, and more updates, and where y'all can ask questions.
I still say you cut it 10% like everybody else.
Well, let's get
I thought
the,
we were tabling it. until-
yeah, let's get the discussion point, let's get Ryan in the room, and we'll get their budget and all that kind of stuff, and go from there, all right?
You can still cut out.
Yes, sir.
Kind of been involved with a few Chamber of Commerce's in my life and in the past in different states and everything. And I can tell you for a fact, if you don't grab them now, it's gonna hurt you in the end. You gotta put in place specific again, bad word,
Yeah, but it's the truth.
stopgaps, meetings. You'll have to look at maybe involving business people that are not part of the commission or the board. that know what the hell, how to run a business and why a business should be run. And have them involved in this. Get them to sign any agreements that have to be so that privileged information can't be leaked and so on and so forth. Ryan, no doubt, can put something together. But I'm telling you, if you can put an organization together that kind of is a watchdog between the county, the commission, and them, you'll be so far ahead on what the heck you're trying to accomplish here in this your county. Because if you don't, like I said, I can tell you stories about Washington, California, Oregon, Illinois. They're something else, man, I'm telling you. And like I said, if you guys get an oversight program together, and again, dirty word, but it's kind of what it is, at least everybody will be kind of upfront, so you don't get blindsided like you guys did with the city saying, yeah, let's do this, but you guys are going, I ain't got nothing to do with this, and you don't have nothing to do with it. That's the problem. So, excuse me, my bad,
No.
sorry.
Thank you for the input. It helps to have an outside perspective sometimes. Anyone else have any input on tabling this and moving it to our meeting next week?
You need a motion to that?
Let's just go ahead and do that if you don't
I'll
mind.
make that
Motion by Scott, second by Travis. Philip and Barry, all in favor? All in favor? Any opposed? So moved. All right. All right. Okay, so we got through charitable contributions, nonprofits.
One question, was that 10% cut applied to FOCA as well?
I would say it was. 'cause it
Yeah, I
wasn't-
think
Well,
it was
it
everything
wasn't
besides.
reduced, and then y'all voted to fund it fully, and then we decided to cut,
We
so.
voted separate to fund it fully. Guys, let's talk about it for a second. FOCA, we voted separate to fund it fully before we got into all these other numerous smaller amounts, nonprofits, so.
I'm good either way. I mean, I see it as a 100% a cost saving thing down the road.
I think $3,500 cut is gonna produce that many more stray animals. Is what I-
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're doing. You're literally they're taking it.
And that's
We
the
ain't paying them
issue.
gas, we ain't paying them salaries, none of that crap. It's literally
It's
the
going directly
procedure
to the
to
procedure.
keep that son of a gun from ever breeding
Yeah,
again.
that's it.
I actually had the number of them when she go to thinking about it. She gave some numbers on how many that turns out, but that's, she told
500
me.
and something.
500
She told me-
families.
It's 500 and something animals,
Animals.
but then there's more than that. That was just the ones that they done at their clinics, right? And there's also ones that they take care of that go to a vet.
Yes.
So 500's a low number, but if you take that 500 number and realize how many puppies are in a litter,
I'd recommend leaving FOCA alone. Every penny turns into 10 cents if we're not careful.
a couple of years ago, you would have floored me if you said that I was in full support of VOCA, but the SNPs program, if you really dig into that, that's saving us. I think it's saving us money now because of what we did a few years
That's
ago
right.
already.
I think so. Alright. Then you all will vote, Brandy will give you the final numbers to apply a 10% cut to the other list of nonprofits on here, outside of County Fire, outside of FOCA, and outside of industrial
The
development.
numbers on each individual one, I just tallied that all together. Like Loretta Senior Citizens is gonna get 9,000 instead of 10, or you just want me to do the total?
I think we could just do the total, or do we need to do them individually? I think total should be fine,
I think total, as long as we go by what we,
by our
by what we're
standard.
talking about, total will be fine with me.
All right,
It's pretty easy to come up with what 10% cut is on anyone that we didn't
Let
cut.
her do some math here.
So your total contributions to senior citizens will be 61,200.
61,200 will be your total contribution to the senior citizens, programs. Let's go ahead and just get a motion and a second on that.
61,200.
Yes, sir.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Scott Franks, second by Phil Headley. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? So moved. Now, other social, cultural, and recreational nonprofits.
That total is 81,400. And we cut all lines that were not already adjusted.
So just to put that in perspective, the request was 159,240, and the actual allocation will be 81,400,
Make that motion.
which is
Less than fiscal year.
less than fiscal year 25-26 by $3,500 or $3,600. Is that right? All right, motion made by Philip Heatherly for $81,400.
I'll second.
Second by Scott Franks. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? So moved.
And then your tourism number is 23,300.
23,300 on tourism, which is 20,000 roughly, $19,700 less than what was requested, which is barely above what we actually gave them last year. So $23,300. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
By Scott, second by Philip Heatherly. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? So moved. All right, and do we need a vote to table this discussion on?
We already did.
We already did vote for that? Okay, all right. Christian, we got that in a minute? Good deal. All right,
Capital projects.
yes, I wanna recommend a short recess.
Yes, sir.
For 5 or 10 minutes. We'll come back in here at 3:20 sharp.
I think I drank like a case of beer.
Technology.
Good knowing Michelle.
Do what?
Good knowing Michelle.
I, that's what office in there.
Scott, you're not in charge of